Hey now, how it do today? And Kmar here, Trey Mysterio. You go by Trey Mysterio on Instagram, right?
Yeah, just
What about, your name's Trey Miller though, right?
yeah, I just go by Trey on the everyday. Unless unless you're Andy.
I'm going by Ann lately.
That's cool.
Hey, welcome to episode 7 of season 1 of Lurking with Attitude. We're happy that you're here today with us. We're going to do a few WebOvision adjustments here.
What we got here?
That's some Do-Si-Do from
Oh, dude,
2020 harvest.
that makes me happy. Yeah, I've been feeling that in my
So,
spirit lately. About
I need to
smoking
relax.
some Do-Si-Do.
I know that putting on a television show can be quite taxing, especially when it comes to showtime. I've got a lot of things I'm trying to improve this stream to the audience so that we are not in this situation here, so we could be more relaxed. Why don't you scoot your chair towards me a little bit more so
Yeah.
we're both in the frame. Well, with this Instagram format, what I can do, there's a software called Yellow Duck, and so if I get it figured out, when I get it figured out, I'll be using a different webcam with a wider screen so we don't have to sit quite so close together. But I want to start the show with thanks and praise to everybody who's watching and tuning in and staying tuned. It's fun for me to be doing this. It's fun for me to see you every week, Trey.
Same with you.
And now it's harvest season, and I can tell you about where I've been this week and what I've been doing with my Lurking with Attitude projects. What have you been up to?
Dude, I've just been kicking it. We took
Let's
in a
burn.
stray cat.
Oh, yeah?
Dude, you wanna know a trick? Dude, about joints. You can take the little, especially raw ones.
Yeah.
You can pinch them and push up the bottom, and it'll scoop that tip up, dude. Give it a little pack.
Nice. I just bought these for the first time today. 'Cause
Dude, I thought
wanted-
that was the coolest trick when I saw that on Instagram, and I was
Do it
like,
again.
wow. No, here, you do. I'll show you how to do it. Here, pinch it. Just pinch it like that,
Mhm.
and then push down right there. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
You see, feel
Nice
it pack.
trick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, ain't it?
Mhm.
Oh, here, yeah. Here, we got one right here. Give me a lighter.
Well, so it is harvest season. We had a chance to get into the hills for the first time this year. Anyway, for me, I guess I visited a farm. So it's
Yeah.
not what was that, episode 3? I had been out to Green Neighbor Farm, but this week I visited Mattole Valley Sun-Grown, and this farm that this is from is called Safer Solutions in Honeydew. Hey, what up, Full Moon Farms? We're just burning some Do-Si-Do from Honeydew. I want to have you on the show. Why don't you pop in? Would you be willing to? If you are, send a request and we'll split the screen. I would love to meet you over the internet live like this. Full Moon Farms is one of the farms that is who I love to feel like I have an affiliation with because of their lifestyle branding.
Gotcha.
So we've got Golden State Chronic, who does 420 Dice, and Lantern Farms of Mendocino, and Ridgeline took the 2018 Cup was taken with the Green Lantern with Ridgeline, and so Billy does sponsor this. He's going to be on this program. Bill and I are going to do a pre-recorded interview, and I'm going to put that into the edited version of today's show. Bill has a little bit of a hard time detaching from football on Sundays, and it'll be easier for us to do an interview that way. I'm also going to be doing that with another fantastic lifestyle branded company. Later this week, I'm going to be meeting with Mark Maney of Permanent Holiday, and he's going to sit down with me, and we're going to talk. So we've got Permanent Holiday and Golden State Chronic, Full Moon Farms. That's why I'm into the Camp High thing and Free and Easy and these lifestyle brands. Full Moon Farms is full send. Let me tell you, these guys have branded paragliders and shit. They're jumping out of the sky in parachutes with FMF on there. And I got to give you props again. I sent him I forgot to put a brim on today. I should go grab one. That's running down to the wire like this. I forget to pick out a hat.
It's all good, man.
And I got
Learning
one right behind me
experience.
if I really want to put one on, but I don't need one. But their hats, let me tell you something. They've got a hat that I asked and requested to see if I could get one because the brim was so tight. I'll go grab it. And Scarlet Fire Organics in the house. Whoa, all the hitters. Wow, we've got a full Grateful Dead posse right now. Nice. Well, what I was going to say is mad props to you both. So I asked Full Moon Farms if I could get one of these beautiful hats. And he sent me 2 hats, 2
Nice.
t-shirts, and a hoodie. And put like $15 postage on the box to send it all
Aw,
to me.
what a homie.
So these are the type of people that I am looking to set the precedent, set the bar. These are the guys that are showing how it's done and how you do it.
That's right.
So being out at Mattole Valley Sun-Grown this week was that way for me. This is grown by my good buddy Dave Smith in Honeydew. And Dave and I did a little bit of interviewing and harvesting and so forth. Scarlet Fire. Your packaging, have you seen Scarlet Fire
I
Organics
don't think
packaging?
so.
Dude,
I
it's
don't
like a
think so.
New Year's Eve ticket. It looks like it
Let me check
came
it out.
from GDS2. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. You look
Usually
them up.
Usually don't miss when you suggest packaging suggestions, man.
Well,
Big Sur Extracts too. They have some fire.
you told me, I
check
told
them
you
out.
that I really appreciated Big Sur Extracts packaging.
Dude,
Those
they-
teardrops,
they
you
had-
got some of it?
Yeah, I had some chocolate skunk from them.
Was
Man,
it in
that's
that
fire.
teardrop packaging?
Yeah, it was sweet too.
So FMF, Scarlet Fire, you guys have personally influenced me to bring it.
Those
You're
are
so
fun.
full send that you set a bar for other people. Now, what I'm really trying to establish with Lurking with Attitude, I'm glad you're here, because I would definitely like to let you guys know that I'm really behind what, say, Chris at Redwood Roots is doing.
Nice.
And
Oh yeah, checking them out.
yeah, for sure. Like I'm telling you, look at it. So they've got all that holographic glitter packaging. I just love shining. And well, so Chris and what he's doing at Redwood Roots family really influences me to want to somewhat be along those guidelines. I'd like to see this be a hub for people to discuss what they would like to discuss. Maybe that's not being talked about. I think that there's a lot of issues that could help benefit the reinforcement of the foundations of the cannabis industry. For me, I want to talk to pertinent people who have great suggestions, who have ideas, who are in the community. The people that are being the civil defense of their hills in times like we've had in the last month with the fires. And there's a disconnect from who is in the mountains and how that is perceived through, whatever mainstream CHP or CAL FIRE or whatnot.
Yeah.
It's actual civil defense
Yeah.
of America that is protecting their land and livestock. So there was issues with that.
That's right.
Certainly that's an example of how the people in touch. I really liked your suggestion an episode ago that was in regards to people that
love
have cannabis culture history being more influential
Yeah.
in the
The Cannabis Bureau
mhm.
that that's up now. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? If they took a full staff of some veteran growers from Humboldt.
Right. Well, what I'm noticing is you've got guys walking around Melrose Avenue in LA with a cookies bag, and there's a disconnect between where that came from
Yeah.
and who's
Yeah,
on the
that's
hill and
true.
who's doing what, who's sitting in an outhouse first
That's
thing in the
really
morning.
true, man.
What's bringing. I mean, I'm just saying that like being on the hill again really showed me that, you know what, getting the opportunity to speak with people in the field
Yeah, and
that
pay your
can
dues.
help.
Yeah.
Now
That's like how it was for me when I was working up on the hill at first, driving all the way past Honeydew every day for, pay my dues in the community, you know what I mean? But it's different for what you're saying, my bad.
Oh no, it's all good. Nothing's ever your bad, man. No apologies ever necessary.
But yeah, like with the
Working
cookie,
attitudes.
my bad, to like derail it. Just telling you what I meant. Like when I saw, I didn't even really know anything about the cookies brand from coming out of state. But then once I got educated and stuff, you know, my first hill job or just my first farm job was last October last year.
Well, one of the reasons I like what Chris talks about
Yeah.
at Redwood Roots is he'll be up at 6 in the morning doing a live stream with the sunrise and
be
giving
tight, yeah.
praise. He does. And
I need to tune into that.
well, it's pretty hip if you're up at that hour and you see that
I
shit.
am.
And he's giving mad props and praise to the Ganja warriors.
That's what's up.
And so I think that there's a lot of disconnect between the industry and the culture, and I want to help. I want to help represent the culture. I want to give people within the culture a opportunity to voice. It's just I've got a unique situation here. I personally have been inside of the industrial side of the corporate industry and understand complications about it. Not that I really want to point out problems. I really don't want to complain about infrastructure that needs to be developed or rankism or somebodies and nobodies and the complications involved with that. I more or less want people to understand that there are people working as hard as you guys do at what you do and what we all do. And I feel like I would
That's
really
fine,
like
dude.
I would like to
I
establish.
definitely feel left out sometimes, dude.
Well, don't.
I know, but thank you. You know, for some of
B,
these ganja warriors,
Don't
bro.
try to become B.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I think that collectively that there can be more collaboration and cooperation, and that a lot of people have yet to connect who are going to connect. And so if we can maybe bridge some new opportunity, forge forward, reestablish the foundations of the cannabis industry so that perhaps the compliance does not, I don't know what I want to say here.
Bro,
I feel like it dislocates a lot of people from being a part of the industry that should be inclusive. It should be all inclusive. For it to be as complicated as it is for someone to go through compliance and still be a small mom and pop, I mean, really you've had to invest a huge amount of capital to be doing what you do. I think that that's why these guys that are tuned in and listening to us right now are actually having the success that they are, is this because they have been able and had the ability to do that. But
That's
for
the
so
dream,
many that
right?
haven't,
Yeah.
I mean, for
That's the
example,
dream.
the people that weren't able to have compliance weren't even allowed to go to their properties to keep their livelihoods
Right, yeah.
going while you could go get a daily permit,
yeah,
and by the
I
time you
remember
got
talking
it you
about
had a
that,
few
yeah.
hours on your property, and it was really difficult to see. It would be nice if there was more refined structure to things. I'd be more than thrilled to hear other people's opinions. Part of this is also if you guys want to request to come in on the conversation, we'd love to have you. We've got a slow show today. We're going to add an interview with Billy Nathan of Golden State Chronic, and again, his Green Lantern and Lantern Farms of Mendocino is who this show is brought to you by. We are sponsored by New World Water of Arcata, and of course, we always talk about the value of good quality water. And what are you drinking? Soda?
Sprite, bro.
Sprite, bro?
Yeah.
You got your Sprite.
That's
good.
that elixir.
I'm gonna go with some water from New World Water.
Sprite is that elixir, dude. You remember anytime at least me growing up, my mom, you know, was sick.
Can I get a light?
Here's some Sprite. Yeah, you want some Sprite on it?
Yeah, sure.
Sprite on the joint. Oh. Dude, we
We're
need to
good.
get you the ashtray, don't we?
I got it. It's right here. Here, you're not even smoking. Your joint's
I'll put it
burning.
down for my Sprite, man. I'll put it down for my
No
Sprite.
excuses. So what's up, man? Full Moon Farms, your stuff looks so sick. I saw photos of them standing in their hoops at eye level. They were just like the stuff I was just
That's
out
the best
looking. Oh man, it's just great. Your crops are bumping.
That's what's up.
I wonder if these guys have met. Do you guys know one another? Scarlet Fire Organics and Full Moon Farms?
They do. Dude, one thing I was thinking about, touching back to what you were talking about, on all that you were talking about, it would be cool to make it a little more mainstream. Make cannabis a little more mainstream. That's why it kind of, for me, I grew up where cannabis is illegal. So,
Insta Buddies. FMF looks like a Croptober on
yeah.
blast. Croptober on blast. That's a good one. That's really good.
Yeah. But yeah, it's
Go
kind
ahead.
of nice to take cannabis more mainstream and have sponsors from cannabis, because in like
You
states.
need to put that joint in this hand.
Oh, so I can show it.
Yeah,
I'm right-handed though, man.
that's
My man.
okay.
Um,
Smoke southpaw.
Anyway, all right, dude. I'll try. Go ambidextrous. Well, where I'm from Alabama, so it's illegal to smoke weed. Everyone still knows that. So, and I got arrested when I was 18 and kicked out of high school, all of that for weed. So when I post photos and of weed or of oil or of plants, some people back home are kind of mind blown. But it's kind of nice to desensitize people a little bit. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to touch the whole world. I mean, obviously at the moment I'm not touching the whole world, but it's like a slow start. People stumble across pages like this, see huge pot plants, and someone in a legal state is going to assume that it's illegal. You know what I mean? They're running an illegal op. Like, I had someone message me the other day, and they were like, "Do you do this for money?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then, like, even when my parents were out here, my stepdad made a comment and assumed something that, like, wasn't necessarily true. I don't know if I should have said that or not, but fuck it. And, because the truth is the truth. That's what's up. But dude, yeah, and everyone here can probably attest to that a little bit. People think that, like working with dark staffing, working with companies like that are licensed farms, being under like certain, we're like licensed to work and things like that, or going to do different things.
It's the only way that my parents can palate what I'm doing. They've watched a few episodes of this, and bless your heart, Mom and Dad. But they don't appreciate the topic.
Well, some people still assume that it's like illegal and stuff just because they don't live here. They don't live in a place where it is legal. But yet with alcohol, it's at the Super Bowl. All the commercials are Budweiser, Bud Light, things like
Well,
that.
it's interesting because I just had my first in studio guest was unable to come on after professional feedback from someone in her field, and because of her professionalism, it wasn't acceptable socially for her to be on a cannabis program.
Yeah.
And we talked at that point about, really it'd be interesting to have some sort of a survey of how many people in the community still are unallowed to have transparency when it comes to the cannabis industry. There's, I think, couples that maybe one of the people, let's say, for example, you have someone that's a ganja cultivator,
Right.
but whose wife works at the county office, and so that her significant other's career is held under scrutiny, and it's not it's there's still hush hush sweet secret.
Yeah, it's
you can
weird,
go
right?
tell somebody at work, I'm going to go home and drink a beer, but if you go tell somebody at work that you're going to go home and take a bong hit or a dab,
I can attest.
you're there's not the same. That's what you're saying about like the alcohol.
Dude. So last year when I first started working on on farms and stuff like that, oh my lord, man. So it was a transition. I went from working at Dutch Bros, a coffee shop, to working at farms. And so when people would ask me from back home that people that didn't smoke weed and stuff, and I didn't know how to respond right away, you know what I mean? I had to come up with, I was a ranch hand. That was my response. Just because, I didn't want to have the conversation with everyone. You know what I mean? What are you up to these days? Just, seeing where I'm working. I didn't want to disclose all my information. But so I can see where you're saying, where you got to keep it hush hush. Like,
well, is
like
it going to
moonshine.
remain that way until it gets federally regulated?
Probably,
and,
yeah.
And even at that point, is it still going to be regarded as, even my friend I was talking to, that I was just telling you about some of my frustrations I'm having with, that I'm working for, and whose ganja we're smoking, and very grateful for it. Don't get me wrong. What I was going to say. Is basically when I was talking to him about Camp High gear, and I'm like, oh, look at this sick piece, you should get this Camp High thing. He thinks that it's promoting drugs if you let a kid see you in Camp High gear. And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to play that game. He's also the person that's putting some shaming on me for my beliefs, and I'm not willing to really engage with, and I'm surprised I even addressed, but that is that. And I actually was frustrated enough that I found it impeding upon I found it impeding upon being relaxed enough to enjoy myself on the program today.
Right.
And so I do get that cognitive dissonance, non-acceptance, 3D logic, and when what we're operating on is 4D to 5D, maybe we don't understand that if we're still in 3D. So there's no sense. You ain't gonna learn what you don't want to know, right? Right.
That's what's up.
So, yeah, it is what it is. You know,
I'll
with
go
people,
that.
as far as people asleep, I feel like, you know what, let them, help them sleep more comfortably.
Yeah,
I,
and
I'm so excited, you know, because I've really found myself being less and less judgmental.
Yeah.
You know, the 13th point of the Grateful Dead, bolt. Look over here on my desk. Let's see how the bright light probably can't see it, but you guys all know what a Steely is. Where's that big, huge Steely? I gotta have one of the biggest Steelies in town. Let me turn that light out of the way. Look at the size of that Steely. Oh, I got a big Steely over there. Anyway, I shouldn't have done that. But I have a big Steely over there. It's got 13 points. You guys ever heard of the 13-point lightning bolt? So, did I ever tell you? I think I did tell you already about what the 13th point of the lightning bolt represents.
No, I don't think so.
Non-judgment.
Let me know.
I just did.
That's it. That's all of it.
Non-judgment.
What's that mean to you?
Well, see, I see this whole 2020 thing as an opportunity to find out how you do judge others. Are you judging harshly, or do you find a lack of judgment? If you can find that lack of judgment, you're going to not be engaged with the negative connotations that go along with judging someone and holding them accountable for how they feel other than it being different than yourself. So, I don't know. That's my frustration with my friend right now, is that we will remain friends. I will always love him. He will always love me. But as long as he feels like I don't feel the way that he does, he's going to hold me accountable for feeling different and that being incorrect for his own ego's sake. And I'm really not even in judgment of that. That's what I'm trying to say, is if someone's asleep, help them to sleep more comfortably. What more can you do than that? Isn't that the high road? I love another California or another lifestyle brand that I highly endorse and is a part of our team, and they allowed me to use their strain art on my website, 420lwa.com. Califari, and their statement that says, when they take the low road, when they go low, we go high. That's it. So take the high road.
Michelle Obama.
You know, is that right?
Yeah, I think that was Michelle Obama.
Oh, okay.
Speech.
All right. Well, maybe that's where it
She's
came
cool
from.
too. I think. I mean, I don't have any political
Michael?
views. I have no political views at all.
You're talking about Michael Obama, right?
I'm not commenting. I just thought it was cool.
I'm
I
being
just thought
facetious,
I
of
just thought it
course.
was a cool quote.
I'm not getting into. Uh-oh, we lost a viewer. I just lost a viewer over that one. Whoops. Oh no, you're back. Okay, good. All right. Well,
it's all love, man. But dude, what's
It
up?
is
now
all
on your-
love.
What's up now on your weed schedule? How was your trip to Honeydew? You get any photos?
first of
for
all,
us?
I got lots of photos. I got some nice photos from Dylan Matole's farm at Sun Valley, Matole Valley Sungrown. Mad props, Dylan, for letting me come out to your farm as a novice. You know, I found out that my camera work was shaky. I was holding a gimbal for the first time in the field doing an interview.
So what's a gimbal?
It holds the camera out a little bit. It's just
Okay.
a stick that
It's
holds...
like a selfie stick, but better.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I'm running a new DSLR camera. Let me tell you what happened to me, you guys. And
Yeah.
full moon, if I could come out and grab some shots, like if I could do some video interviewing, or if you'd ever be considering being an in-studio guest, of all of the above, like I definitely would love to come visit you. That's what was my intent was. All right, well, take it easy. I want to get to know you by name, Scarlet Fire Organics. I'm And. Cool, peace out. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next week. I would love to continue to promote everything that you're doing, Scarlet Fire. Keep on
Dude,
rocking.
I'm gonna keep up to date.
Sugar Magnolias. Peace.
All right.
Stay tuned. That was really nice. What a treat, you know, getting some of these people in the industry. That's who's connecting with what I'm doing. Mark Maney from Permanent Holiday is going to be here this week. We're going to sit down in these chairs. We're going to shoot shit.
So tell me what you can tell me about Mark Maney. Who is Mark Maney?
Well, that's his name. Maney Mark is his personal IG.
Okay, cool.
And so I don't even really know his last name, but he's running Permanent Holiday.
Is that a personal Instagram, or is that?
Yeah, that's his personal Instagram, and it's
so
his.
Don't look him up or follow him.
I think you wouldn't mind.
Cool.
What I'm trying to say is that he's such a nice person.
Okay.
A year ago, actually 10 months ago, we met at House of Humboldt, which I'm sure you were at as well.
Cool.
Is that Nick? Nick, is that you listening? That's your name, right? Or who I've been talking to on Insta prior to this. I'm pretty sure Full Moon Farms fellow's name is Nick. It could be wrong. Correct me if I'm
Go
wrong.
out there and give them some help. Hell yeah, this is
Better happen soon. We are chopping heavy and hard. Okay,
Nick.
Nick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. All right. I can be out there like probably Tuesday or Wednesday, maybe. I'm scheduled. I'm booked to work up in Neyland. But yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I saw those pictures. I know it's coming down. Well, good. Maybe I could talk to you about coming down this week. I'll DM you after the show, okay? Because I sure would love that. And I've been anxious to meet you. This homeboy, he's like sending me shots and stuff of him and Steve Parrish and whoever he's hanging with at Sweetwater. Loves that pirate ship. Isn't that venue like a pirate ship? It's one of the funnest places ever. Nick, that is so rad. What area are you in? Cool. This week, let's do it. All right. What area? I don't even know what neck of the woods your farm is in.
That's familiarized. Let's look at his page a little bit.
Can you?
Yeah.
You
That's
can
what I was looking at.
I like, isn't Trey Mysterio a fabulous co-host?
Dude.
I think that
So
he's got you know.
Rey Mysterio was my favorite Mexican wrestler. I was thinking about getting a mask. Have you seen his mask?
Tell us more, man. I don't know anything about this.
So that's the Trey Mysterio. It's just a pun for like Rey Mysterio, the luchador Mexican wrestler from WWE. And he's got this sweet luchador like a collection of masks and stuff like that. Oh hell yeah! But dude.
Oh cool.
He's awesome. I was thinking about getting a mask.
Sweet,
Yeah,
I'll be out there this week. That sounds great. And it's really cool, man. Well, here's what I've got going on. I'm going to do a 2.0 version of this. So while Bear Extraction has me on unemployment, I'm going to, well, let's not reveal the game plan. But I'm going to stockpile some footage, and we're going to do a 2.0 version of this that is going to be more along the lines of my gimbal not being shaky. This time I'm going to set it on a tripod and do an interview a little different. I've got to go through a process of learning from my mistakes. And so, 6 weeks ago or 7 weeks, 8 weeks ago, I didn't even know how to do this. I watched John Mayer do a... oh, is that right? Is that right? I have a photograph of me in the green room at Sweetwater. Now I just got to get one of me in there with my guitar. Bro, I'm going to play Tujin in Sweetwater. I want Weird to hear some guy was down at your club last night playing Tujin, Bob. Did a pretty good job. The dreaming is real. We know this. So that's cool. I'm going to meet my friend this week, Nick. Nick hooked me up. He spent $15 on postage just to send me a hoodie, 2 shirts, and 2 hats. It's so kind. So people are either on that side of the coin where like Califari's like, let us hook you, like, definitely do your thing. Billy Nathan from Golden State Chronics, a dear friend of mine that I've known for years. There was a brother on tour named Tro. Tro and Billy, when they ran all together in the early 90s, would often say lurking with attitude. And so there was kind of this like play on NWA, of course, and 420 LWA has been a standard thing going on now for decades. So I was at Bill Nathan's house getting a loan to buy a Camp High hoodie with an ALM collab. A Love Movement. I got a new Camp High, a Love Movement hoodie on its way that Bill helped me out and ended up giving me my first paycheck, he said, on taking the ball and running with Golden State Chronic and promoting his brand. I joked with him and said, so you want me to be your marketing director? And he said, yeah. And I said, make it brand ambassador. You got yourself a deal. So I jumped on the ball and came home and opened up a website, 420lwa.com. Super proud of it, even though it's really simple and it hasn't. I mean, for one thing, I'm there to showcase the cola on the plant, the wind, and the backdrop and the view and the field that a person, I would think, enjoying sacred herbs should want their herbs to have as their source. And so maybe we can take people to the source of the herbs that they're partaking in with less reverence than maybe they could have with better vision. I think it's farms like Full Moon Farms and Lantern Farms of Mendocino, Ridgeline Farms, Green Neighbor Farms, places that are, there's so many to list. There's Mattole Valley Sungrown and Safer Solutions, and if you go down the line and list everybody, eventually I want to have appeal. I want to be welcomed on someone's site. I want them to be like, we're happy you're here, and maybe I will have something in return to offer them. I could see if I can get my portfolio established that maybe I could get $420 for putting together a real nice marketing package for you, And so 420 LWA marketing at 420lwa.com, not to pitch my own gig here, but I went out on a limb and my employer watched me do it and have a voice of my own on the internet and went, we're not having it. And I really am probably never going to address that again, and I have nothing negative to say about my previous employer. In fact, I don't even want to tie it all together on who it was. It's kind of irrelevant. It really gave me an opportunity to see how detached and disconnected front ends from production and cultivation and so on and so forth can be, and a place to put some emphasis into reconsideration. I know that the organization that I was with has no concept of rankism, yet that's what runs rampant, and that the somebody nobody thing is an epidemic of its own. And so we have epidemics right now. Things are different than they always have been, and more than likely, we're going to have to contend with them being different in the future than they have been. So why not play a part as a voice of that so that there can be as healthy of a condition in that regard as possible? Now, I'm not trying to be a Pied Piper and toot my own horn and play the qualified candidate here. My credentials are going to show otherwise, but I can establish them, and I've got a platform now that someone has recognized my efforts in the industry, and although has not utilized them to the best of their ability, has allowed me to be able to utilize them to the best of my ability. So I'm actually really grateful. And speaking of which, you got any of that, Ursa?
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Yeah. Got a little cart.
Some blueberry muffin.
Yeah.
So Full Moon, I saw that you, I think, have your distro. I'm looking forward to finding out about you, and your gardens are the healthiest ever. And I love that they're family. It's what I loved about being in the family that I still consider myself a part of. So I don't want to reflect poorly upon anyone within the organization. I still will always be a part of your organization, whether or not you want me to be. I'm going to remain a part of the family that you can't take, because I'm going to share something with you all right now, okay? This is for you, Nick. Family love. I know it's true. And it's always there, like me for you. Brothers and sisters holding hands, shining light across this land. Bringing smiles true and bright, and reaching out when it feels right. This circle started long ago, and it carries the ring of love we know. It puts the rainbows in the air to let them fall upon our hair. Happy, dancing, to share and care. This grace of love is everywhere.
Good stuff.
Good story. Y'all want to hear it? Yeah, That's a story that was a very beautiful one, as a matter of fact. And maybe while we're on the subject, I'll say it. Okay, so 89. I was up from Santa Barbara at the. This story actually starts the weekend before I received the physical copy of the poem. The weekend before, the Grateful Dead had played 2 days in May, I want to say. It could have been June. No, I think it was probably still May. Anyway, spring, not quite summer tour yet, of 89. They did a weekend at the Frost. I think it was the last Frost shows, as a matter of fact, in Palo Alto, California. And I got in the first day, but actually, well, we won't go into the getting kicked out part for sneaking in, but I gave up the one ticket that I did a flip and landed on my feet for, to get a miracle for, to the person that drove up with me, because I got in the first day and they didn't, so I gave up my ticket. Ended up dancing out in the parking lot and met this girl named Debbie. Debbie had really dark eyes. She had,
Bro, you're live. I gotta get.
okay, well, check this out. This is
listening.
Okay,
I'm
this
listening,
story is only. This is one of those stories that only happened at the Grateful Dead show that Nick knows well about. That's why he said absolutely. All right, so I meet Deb. We dance to the speaker set up out in the dirt lot at the Frost while the show's spinning inside. And had given up my ticket that day. I had gotten in the first day, and they were sweet shows. It was a Kentucky Derby run day, and so they did the races on and just primo, the Frost. And the next weekend there was a AIDS benefit at the Oakland Coliseum. And John Fogerty and friends played, and there was, let's see, like I think Joe Santriani, and then I know on the lineup it was Fogerty and friends, which included Weir and Lesh and Garcia. So you had Creedence Clearwater Revival songs going on with Jerry on guitar and Bobby and Phil. So you had them playing in center field, and John Fogerty with a cowboy hat and a red bandana on, pointing at the crowd. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. And so they did all these Creed. I mean, I get the goosebumps right away. And then the Grateful. Well, and then after John Fogerty and friends, freaking killed it. I mean, slayed it. Old school Creedence and Fogerty favorites, and those guys laid it down. Tracy Chapman comes out, just her and her solo guitar and the great big giant open athletics football, baseball in the Raiders football Coliseum.
Yeah.
The Oakland Coliseum, huge thing.
Yeah.
And just Tracy Chapman and her solo and her guitar, and captivated the audience after the Fogerty and friends. Then the Grateful Dead played 2 sets. Well, that night, I ran into Debbie out in the parking lot, the girl that I'd met the weekend before at the Frost. And she gave me this poem, and it was written. That was the poem I just recited. It was called Family Love, and it said, "Family love, I know it's true. It's always there like me for you, brothers." I get a hand copy of this. Well, the following day, there was a Kingfish and Country Joe McDonald gig. Bob Weir was playing with Kingfish in Half Moon Bay. And so it was at some guy's farm, and so we head out to Half Moon Bay the next morning without any sleep and show up, and a couple of girls got out of their car and introduced themselves walking down the street as we got out of our car, and I ended up friending them, and we hung out. Remember those things that you would blow in, the purple things that you would blow wind through and it would spin, and you would go and it would make the thing spin, and it would give you ocular hallucinations. We were sitting on the hillside on mushrooms and going down the hillside of grass and with cardboard and just chilling and getting high, and saw vintage Kingfish, my very favorite Bobby Weir. And so we have this killer show, and then they invite me to come to this campground with them after. They're like, we're going to go to this campground and camp down here. And so they go down and camp, and I bring the poem over to their little VW bus that they're all in, hanging out and doing their thing. And I bring the poem over there, and I'm like, "Family love, I know it's true." No, I go, "Family love," and they all go, I know it's true. It's always there, like me for you. And I was like, whoa, you guys know this poem already. And so I ended up staying with friends with them. They invited me. They called me up. I was living in Santa Barbara at the time. They were all from LA. They ended up calling me and inviting me to go along with them to Electric on the Eel and see Jerry Garcia in Humboldt County for the first time. It was the first time I came to Humboldt County, was to see Electric on the Eel in '89. And this was after that, so it was later in the summer, probably August. And so I get picked up. I rolled across Ojai there and went over to the 5, and they picked me up in their motorhome. And there was people that I had met there that weekend from the Frost, and just like that I didn't even know were friends with them that I already knew. And we ended up traveling up to Humboldt. Well, in the meantime, I had taken the poem home and put it to a song, a lot like Samson and Delilah. It's got a real thumping boom, boom, bop, bop, bada, bop, boom, boom, boom. That song was written for the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead would have killed the song the way that I have it arranged. But it's in my shelf to be able to pull out and make some bones shake. But that's another day. So I wrote the song a lot like Samson and Delilah with the poem that Dana Mae wrote. Well, it turned out that they had known the poem because they said, oh, we know the girl that wrote the poem. I left that part out. When they repeated back the poem to me at the campground, they were like, oh, we know the girl that wrote that. So I knew that they knew this person that had wrote the poem. So when I wrote the song, I was hoping to get the permission of the person who wrote the song to use the poem for the song. And so we come up, and when I got in the motorhome, I said, hey, listen, I wrote this song to the poem Family Love, and I'd really like to meet the author. I'd like to meet Dana Mae and see if she would be okay with me playing the song. And so when I got in the motorhome, they were like, well, she's going to be there. And so I was excited because I was going to get a chance to meet her and ask her. And when we finally arrived at French's camp in Piercy, we were across the street at the KOA, and they had run into her out on the lot already and had gotten back to me and said, Dana Mae knows you're here and knows that you wrote a song to Family Love and is looking forward to meeting you. And so she had heard about me, and I had heard that she had known about me, and so she came to the campground and we met. And I'm going to get her picture off my desk real quick. Sorry to leave the screen real fast, but since we're talking, oh, you know what? It fell behind the desk the other day.
Oh, man.
I can't do it. I could do it if I took a break, but I don't want to get away from the camera.
Next time you'll have to show
I might do it. I might do it afterwards if Nick wants to see it.
Throw it in your story. I want to see it.
Yeah. Well, I want to show Dana Mae because I do have a picture of her, but I do know it did slip behind my desk. But I can get down there and reach for it. So we met, and I gotta just say that, this was the beginning of my Grateful Dead family that I found on tour. We were the Space Pastries from the Space Bakery. So we were all, there was Space Cake and Space Pie and Space Tart and Space Flake and Space Dough, and, I was Space Twinkie. And so we all had Space Bakery names because we were all Space Pastries from the Space Bakery. And so Dana Mae was the first one of the Catorce that I met, and very well, you may know Nick, you may know Josh, who was a big part of this and in the motorhome with me that came up. And Josh lives in San Francisco now. He's from Santa Cruz. Anyway, but what I was going to say is just that I played the song for Dana Mae, and she wept. Samson and Delilah is her favorite song. The connection was surreal. I played it, and it just was magical. At the end of that weekend, she gave me this gift. She gave me a sweater. It was like a sweater jacket. It was like a pullover sweater that had earth tones to it. And it was the most interesting thing because what ended up happening is what makes this story so magical, and one of those stories that only would happen at a Grateful Dead show. And that was, we ended up a few weeks later, I was in Buffalo, New York. After my Honda Accord got left in Green River, Wyoming after throwing a rod, my grandmother flew us to Buffalo instead back to the West Coast. And that was with Marcy, who's another person, God rest her soul, is no longer with us because she took her life jumping off a building on Market Street right in front of the Warfield. And So Marcy traveled with me that summer across this. So as you can see, there's an aspect of family that went along with Grateful Dead that was as vital. It's what brings me to an emotion that is really one of those things that's hard to describe. It's like describing ice cream to somebody who's never tasted it, or, you know. So there was family aspect. You would see people that you would only see at shows.
Yeah.
And so you could count on seeing these people at each show, and it was really miraculous how it was nomadic, and you would end up seeing someone you would have no idea how they got from point A to point B, but here it was 600 miles later and they were there the next day. And I mean, it was just a cool thing. So we're on the lot in Buffalo, 4th of July 1989, middle of the night. This is before, right, an hour or two before we went to Niagara Falls. So fun. Favorite memory from touring. And I'm in the sweater shirt that I'm out in the parking lot in the middle of the night after the show in 1989 in Buffalo, and I'm talking to Dana May, who wrote the poem, and Debbie, who gave me the poem. I'm wearing the shirt that Dana May gave me, and Debbie says to me, "Where did you get my shirt?" And I looked at Dana May. Dana May gave it to me. Debbie had left it in a van that Dana May found it in.
Dang,
And took
wild.
possession of and gifted it to me. And it came full circle on the other side of the country,
That's crazy.
in the middle of the night, all through that poem. So I'm going to grab Dana May's photo real quick.
Got to. Do you still have the sweater?
No.
Do you have to give it back?
I think maybe it did get returned. I would imagine that it did, because I don't think I did continue to hang on to possession of that.
The magic's still there, though. That's super cool, man.
Yeah. Let's see, I can find it here.
That's cool.
Here she is. I got her. That's cool, because Josh is in this picture too, Nick, if you recognize him. All right. Here's a picture of Dana May. Oh, it was the funnest times ever. So family was as important as music. 90s tech, I wonder what he meant by that. The technology of the 90s.
I think it was when you were talking about the vans and stuff. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Thanks for this, man.
Yeah.
Well, so, yeah, I'm excited because it's harvest season and the light scope I was talking about. Oh, yeah, 90s tech, the light scope, yeah, the purple, the thing. I would love to find one of those. Those are cool.
Oh, wait,
Grab
I'm
that
sorry,
right here.
dude. I'm
No
not
worries.
stoned as you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's nice, man.
Chad gave this to me today. Chad Godet
Arsa.
gave me an original.
Arsa is good.
Chad Godet, my good friend that was here today, I was catching up and running late today because he was here visiting, really complimented what I'm doing. He's like, "You've got this, man. I think this is your gig." He really gave me some positive reinforcement and feedback that, I mean, I'm just running, like, I'm glad I got a pair of shoes on today. Like, I've been running so late that, like, I notice when I'm in editing that I don't even have shoes on. I'm running down to the wire. I want to stream through Yellow Duck and use my other webcam so that we have a wider view for the viewers at home. I can give a better quality. This is all going to, oh, that's why you said her a second.
Yeah.
So you're using Sysue, from what I understand. Did I see that that's who your distro's through? I thought I saw a connection that you were using Sysue. Nick, where do you guys end up? Do you want water?
Oh, no, that's alright, dude. I'm chilling on the Sprite.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
That's alright.
Multiple. That's what I figured. I'm like, there's no way it could be just one.
Just let it go.
Well, I gotta say, Yeah, I'm sure. I'm excited. Like, what's really cool is the people like Mark at Permanent Holiday and you guys and Califari and Lantern Farms of Mendocino and these other farms that I'm affiliated with all know me really well, and they know that my intent is good, and they really encouraging me. These are the people that are succeeding are the people that are encouraging my success. And that's what's exciting about this, because that's what I was looking for in this industry. I was watching all of my friends find their niche and have their cog and have their wheel that they were a cog on, or whatever opportunity. I mean, I looked long and hard. I was trying to think of things to do. I thought about maybe, I don't know. I have nothing but ideas. And so for some of them to come into being realistic, and like I really kind of feel like one of my grandiose solutions is actually going to come true this time. I've had these chairs and this concept of vlogging or being a YouTube content provider for 8 years now, since 2012. Since I knew that you could provide YouTube content, you could become a YouTube content provider, I've wanted to do that. And when I met you earlier this year on campus, I found that you were doing that very impressive. I felt that put you in a professional status because you were doing it.
Thanks, dude.
Well, your reviews, if you haven't seen Trey Miller on YouTube, check it out.
I only have a few. I have a few on.
You got 90
phone.
subscribers, yo! You got 80 more than me!
I only have like 3 or 4
I gotta
videos.
get some!
I know, I need to post more videos. I have some on my
Well,
phone.
let's do more, because like I'm noticing that in our decompression session last week, which was fun, man, if we had been rolling film on all of that engagement, like, I'm dealing with extending my resources where I'm on one cheap battery. I need a couple of good Canon batteries. And I need some upgrades with, higher memory cards to be able to not have this one memory card and one cheap battery from my initial purchase. Once I start to upgrade, now I'm also going to be doing streaming and so on and so forth with another external thing from And Kmar and 420 and LWA, which is Captain Beyond, where I'm going to be in the International Space Station with a space helmet and a whole spacesuit and smoking herb up in the space station. Captain Beyond, I'm challenging myself to compete with myself and my two different alter egos.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. The future's got all kinds of opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and develop that during this season and compile as much as I can to put together the next 2.0 version of Lurking with Attitude. Meanwhile, it really gives us a chance to establish what we're trying to accomplish and what we're doing. And I've been talking a lot about myself. Let's hear more about your personal situation.
Well, what's the situation?
Well, you're newlywed and having a kid.
Yeah.
Head to the Redwoods with the fam. Humboldt style. DM me. Let's link up this week for a farm tour. Keep crushing. I've got to dip out. See you this week. Stay tuned.
Dude, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Next time, come on and, we'll establish this rapport and maintain. See you on the flip side.
Yeah.
And blossoms blooming.
Yeah, that's what's up, dude. Have a good one, dude. Nick, that's what's up, man.
That made the show.
Yeah, Nick's cool.
Yeah.
Nick's great.
And it was cool. I never really anticipated addressing that. So while I had a deadhead on the line wanting that story, that was to hear the story, be willing to hear that. That was cool because that got expressed. And I really feel like that maybe in this first season of Lurking with Attitude, Sundays at 4:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on 420 LWA on IGTV. I think we gotta get to know give our audience a chance to get to know us. So if somebody does rewind and look at this, that they can get to know the characters of Lurking with Attitude, and it is all about lurking with attitude. I mean, there's not a lot of sense of not lurking with attitude. And if you're not going to lurk with attitude, then you're not going to hang with the big dogs here at Lurking with Attitude and Golden State Chronic and Lantern Farms of Mendocino, Ridgeline Farms, Green Neighbor Farm, Redwood Roots Family, Full Moon Farms, Scarlet Fire Organics, Califari. Remember, stay tuned.